Members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for Her Worshipful, the Mayor of Chorley, Councillor Julia Berry.
Welcome everybody, please be seated. Please can we confirm the recording has started, Matthew? Thank you. Thank you to everyone for attending this meeting of the Council on Tuesday, the 18th of April 2023. My name is Councillor Julia Berry and I am the Mayor. We have some members joining us via Teams and members of the public are welcome also to observe the proceedings on YouTube. Due to regulations surrounding voting, only those council members physically present are able to vote. However, if members at home would like to contribute to the debate, please use the raise hand function on your iPads. For members in the council chamber, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand and I will invite you to speak in turn. When you are speaking, please speak towards the microphone so everyone can hear you. If anyone is having issues with the microphones, please let Democratic Services know. Right, some housekeeping. We're not expecting a fire drill, so if the alarms sound, please exit the way you came in. Please ensure that any mobile phones are switched to silent. If the technology fails, then I'll adjourn the meeting for a few minutes to try and resolve the issue. We have some apologies. Councillor Michelle Lemarinel. Oh, I do apologise. Well, you're a surprise. Well, it's lovely to see you. Thanks very much. Do we have any other apologies?
None received, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Right, item 1, declarations of any interest. Members are reminded of their responsibility to declare any pecuniary interest in respect of matters contained in this agenda. Are there any declarations of interest? Okay, thank you. Item 2, mayoral announcements. I would like to announce that Councillors Walker, Boardman and Nevitt will be retiring from the Council in May, and so this will be their last meeting this evening. May I offer my thanks for their valued contributions and service to the Council. Are there any other members who would like to say a few words? Councillor Cullens and Councillor Bradley have already indicated they wish to speak. Who wishes to go first? Okay, Councillor Cullens.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Bradley, for deferring us, probably because it's 2 of ours to 1 vex of yours. So it's that time of year where we gather together to say farewell to some people who won't be standing at the next election. And quite ironic in the way that the 3 people and the length of terms are so dynamically different. I think to one person we're saying farewell tonight and that's retirement. To the 2 others, I'm sure we're only just saying a temporary farewell, and I'm sure in some way that they will be back. I think being a councillor is often quite challenging, and some of the things that challenge us are those things that we don't expect. And I know from Councillor Nevitt, I'm sure he would agree that some of the things over the last few years are not what he may have expected at the outset. But I think all things are a learning. And I think one of the good things that, we learn from what we do, we learn from our experiences. And certainly whatever you wish to do in the future, then I'm sure this council would always welcome you back. Councillor Boardman, on the other hand, has served 2 terms. And one of the things that does become a challenge is balancing. And that's trying to balance the time of work, the time of family, and the time of council. And I know from, certainly through COVID and what Martin had to experience with his business, the business is now booming. Family take up a tremendous amount of time, and equally as well, council has done that. But I know in Martin's case, it's not a farewell. I'm sure Martin will be back, much to the chagrin of the planning team and and I'm sure Adele, we'll say a temporary farewell and sleep easy for a little while at least. But Martin served as leader of our group, and he's one of the things that you can certainly say about Martin, that he is dedicated to what he does. And again, he will be sorely missed by certainly the Conservative group. But then we move on to a person who actually has faced probably more challenges, not least that he has been our whip for several years and trying to maintain and contain the itinerants in our group, present company accepted, because we've had many. So John, and literally as I say, it's a fond farewell to John. As a gentleman and as a friend, and I think many people can say that from whatever side of the council chamber we're on, that John has been a very genuine person. He served as a councillor for Whittle and its different guises for many years, creating what can only be described as the dynamic duo. You know, it was the John and Eric roadshow. And I think they served Whittle extremely well through all that time. John was first elected to the chamber in 1991 and served for a period of 4 years, then again in 2002 to date. So we've gone from literally Councillor Nevitt serving 1 term, Martin 2 terms, to John becoming a veteran of this council chamber. He's been a long-standing member of licensing, chair of ONS for many years, and was the founder chairman of the Member Support Working Group. But it's not just his work as a councillor that John is going to leave this chamber, sadly, with. He was a school governor at Whittle St John's for many years, and also a member of the Veterans Association. I know that he's retired from one, but I'm hoping that he continues with the Veterans Association. But I think the highlight for John, of course, came in 2013, where he served as mayor with his wife, Mary. And I know that he served the council extremely well. So in all 3 councillors, we wish you all the best for the future, and certainly that for John, a long and fruitful retirement. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Cullins. Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'll try not to repeat what Councillor Cullins has already said. Obviously, I share his sentiments around the 3 retiring councillors. Obviously, Councillor Nevitt, 2 years, he's very bright, he's very talented, has, I'm sure, a very bright future ahead of him, and has burned brightly and briefly while he's been here. I tried my very best to keep James in the group and echo some of the comments that Councillor Cullins has made. He has made many interventions, both while he was part of our group and since he's become independent, which have been, you know, wise beyond his years, really, and has certainly echoed within our group as well. So we wish James all the very best. Councillor Boardman, I'm sure the 8 years seems longer to him. I'm sure the year or so he served as group leader were even longer still, because I know it was very hard to do alongside all the other commitments that he had. I'm not sure he always enjoyed it, but I'm sure he gave it his all. Martin always has an opinion, Madam Mayor, as we all know, on most things, and isn't shy of sharing them. I know he'll be deeply missed, not only by Councillor Whittaker, but also by former Councillor Walmsley, who he had a bizarre Chuckle Brothers kind of relationship with, even now at, at dinners and things. Martin is a character within the Conservative ranks, and we will miss him as well. But as Councillor Cullins says, Councillor Walker's long service to this council needs to be recognised. And I think Alan said the very appropriate phrase, a gentleman. Johnny is seen very much by everybody in the council as a gentleman, as a gent, very courteous, very civil, and even when he's telling you off in ONS, does it in such a manner that you feel like you've not been told off that badly, as I can attest to, and certainly Councillor Wilson can probably attest to as well. I have to tell you, Madam Mayor, did you pull a face then, Peter? Peter doesn't like being told off. Madam Mayor, every other few days or so, since Christmas, I've been punishing myself by going to the gym, and there is a plaque in the leisure centre up at Clayton, I think it is, which says opened by Councillors Goldsworthy and Walker. And every day when I'm suffering walking past it, I think unfondly of Councillor John Walker. And I will continue to do so long after he has left this place, Madam Mayor. He has served particularly as the chair of ONS recently, where he has held us very much to account, and that is appreciated at times, Madam Mayor, because you need that rigour put into you. And John always does it with in a courteous manner. He does it in a way that doesn't get you back up. And you mentioned the dynamic duo, Councillor Cullins. It may have been John and Eric. I tend to think of it as John and the boss behind him, who he will have to spend more time with moving forward. And I hope, for both your sakes, it goes very well, and you get along, having to spend a bit of time with a bit of time apart, married, on those evenings when he's away at meetings. But all the very best, John. You've earned your chance to have a bit of a rest, and I know that you've cherished your time at the council, your merit year, and all the rest of it. I think you really appreciate it. So all the very best to all 3 councillors in the future, and any other councillors who didn't plan to retire, who do retire in the next few weeks, Madam Mayor. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Are there any other members that would like to say a few words? Or should we? Councillor Boardman and then Councillor...
Thank you, Madam. I couldn't resist. Sorry for the last time. just get in there. Yeah, thank you, Alistair, for the kind words. Really appreciate that, and thank you, Alan, again also for your kind words. I'd just like to start by thanking my good friends and colleagues within the current and the past Conservative councillors group, both the Chorley and the South Ribble associations, for all the help and support I've had over the last 8 years. Back in 2015, I received a huge amount of support as a fresh, young, green councillor, not only from those tonight within the room, but from former councillors, Councillor Henry Cornton and his family, Councillor Eric Bell, Councillor Mick Muncaster, Councillor Paul Ledbetter and Councillor Doreen Dickinson, who we cannot forget. Many whom have served as mayor and who have imparted a great deal of experience and wisdom. I'd also like to thank all our amazing officers and directors. Without them, we wouldn't have a council at all. So my heartfelt thanks goes out to all of those, and keep doing a sterling job. In these current times, when volunteering is at an all-time low, and crucially important that we as current and former councillors and those with experience bring through the next younger generation of councillors and spend the time with them to help them fulfil their potential and represent their age groups within this wonderful borough. I'd like to also thank Councillor Deborah Platt, who reluctantly took the deputy group leader role when I took up the leadership in 2019. Deborah works very hard for her group and her residents, as we can still see she holds the role today. I feel I must extend a thanks to the Labour group. Without them in control and without some of the more off-the-wall and harebrained ideas and so-called investment projects, I'd have nothing to criticise you all for, or to hold you account. But seriously, over the past 8 years, this council has delivered many benefits for the people of Chorley. These may not all be in the areas that I liked or actually represent, but on many occasions where this group, the Conservative group, supports the administration's ambitions, the improvements to all can clearly be seen. I'd just like to say that although I'm not retiring, I'm not standing to retain my seat in the local ward this year. It doesn't mean that I'm standing down from a councillor's role forever. I just need a bit of a break. I am looking to take a break from this role for a few years to spend a bit more time with my family, and to help continue to grow a small local business that I'm currently heading up. But thank you very much, everybody.
Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And can I start by thanking Alistair and Alan for those very kind words. It has been a great privilege for me to represent Whittle, Clayton and Buckshaw for the last 2 years as a councillor. I was greatly honoured to be Mayor of Chorley in 13 and 14, a great year that both my wife and I thoroughly enjoyed. I did, at the last scrutiny meeting, thank the officers and the members of that committee for their patience, having dealt with me as being in charge for, I think I've done over the scrutiny 9 years after Alistair came in charge of the Labour group. I think I did it for 5 years before that, when Jack Wilson was in charge. I think Jack gives me a hard time occasionally, though, but anyway, that's beside the point. But there's one committee that we never mentioned in this council chamber, that's licensing. And I've been on licensing since the Licensing Act came into to being, I think it was 2003. And really, over the years, I've had many challenges with the chairs, but the chairs have done a superb job in getting the licensing side of the hoteliers and restaurants and everything up to a very high standard, and also the taxi drivers. because of my eyesight, I haven't been driving in the evening, and I've had to take the taxi 2 or 3 times to get home. And they are very, very good now. And I should congratulate all the chairs, especially Matt, who's, I think he's done it about 4 or 5 years now, who's done an excellent job. So well done for that. But finally, can I just say to the officers, directors, it's been a pleasure working with you all. I wish you all the best for the future. I wish all Chorley the best for whoever's in charge over the next few years. As you all know, I'm a Yorkshireman, but I've lived in Chorley for about 40 years. It is a great place to live, work, play and rest. Thank you very much.
Right, I'm going to move to item 3, public questions. The question was received by a member of the public. However, at the request of the questioner, it has now been withdrawn, and there are no further questions received. Item 4, the Executive Cabinet, pages 3 to 6, which receive and consider the report of the meetings of the Executive Cabinet held on the 23rd of February and the 30th of March. This item is for noting. Councillor Alistair Bradley, please can you present the report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I propose that the minutes of the 2 meetings held on the 23rd of February and 30th of March are taken as a true and correct record? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Councillor Wilson. Are you
Seconded,
prepared to
Madam Mayor.
second it? Thank you. I will now invite members for their comments and to ask any questions. Any at all? Okay. We're now at the end of the discussion. Ironic, right? Please can we note the report then, please? Okay, the report's noted. Item 5, Overview and Scrutiny Committee and Task and Finish Groups, pages 7 to 14. We to receive and consider the general report of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee held on the 26th of January and the 16th of March. The Overview and Scrutiny Performance Panel held on 9th of March, and an update on the task group, which is a review of empty properties. This item is for noting. Councillor Walker, please can you present the report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One thing I forgot to mention when I was just speaking to you about my wife behind me, who was, shall we say, looked after me over the last 25 years while I've been on the council. And so I should say thanks to her. You know, when you've got all these meetings and what have you, my wife sometimes said, we've been invited out on such and such. And I would say, can't go, council meeting, group meeting, whatever and whatever. So can I thank her for her patience and tolerance over the last 24 years.
Well
right.
done, John.
Right. Right, can I ask the council to consider the general report of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee meeting held on the 26th of January and the 16th of March, and the Overview and Scrutiny Performance Panel held on the 9th of March, and an update on the task group review of empty properties. Just one thing, Madam Mayor, I did mention, I think in the July meeting, that we would discuss cycling sometime during the year of the scrutiny, and we did. We've managed to get it in at the last meeting. We had a paper or an officer came and talked to us about cycling in the area, and he did say he'd been in discussion with Lancashire County to improve the cycling ways and the way cyclists can do their work. I'm not a cyclist, so I don't know the proper terms, but anyway, so to improve their cycling around the borough. So I hope that will continue in the next few years at Overview and Scrutiny, or whatever you might want to request, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John. That's excellent. May that continue. Councillor Lees, would you like to second the report, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to second both all these reports.
Thank you. I will now invite members for their comments and to ask any questions. Okay. Please can we note the report? Okay. Item 6, the Governance Committee, pages 15 to 16. We to receive and consider the report of the meeting of the Governance Committee held on the 15th of March. This item is for noting. Councillor Deborah Platt, please can you present the report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to present to Council the report from the governance meeting on the 15th of March.
Thank you. Councillor Clifford, would you like to second the report, please, prior to the debate?
I'd like to second the report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Clifford. I will now invite members for their comments and to ask any questions. Okay, we're now. Please come in and just note the report. Thanks. Item 7, policy review, council tax discretionary reductions policy 17 to 26. Sorry, pages 17 to 26. We're to receive and consider the report of the Director of Customer and Digital. This item is for decision. Councillor Adrian Lowe, please can you present this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To present the proposed revised and updated council tax discretionary reductions policy, and the proposed policy is attached at Appendix 1. The policy that we have in place was last reviewed 8 years ago in 2015. The purpose of the policy is to set out the guidelines and criteria to which we will consider when considering requests for a reduction in council tax from residents experiencing severe financial hardship. The revised policy addresses 4 things which are highlighted in paragraph 17 of the report, and the main changes, or the notable changes, Madam Mayor, are at paragraph 18 of the report. Just one final thing before I go on to the recommendation, Madam Mayor, is that we've only had one application, and that in the previous year, and that's highlighted at paragraph 20 in the report. So with that in mind, Madam Mayor, I'll move the recommendation that at point 2 and 3 that we approve the revised policy, and in view of the economic climate and likely increase in applications, the financial position in respect is reviewed after 6 months.
To debate, please. Thank you.
I would, Madam Mayor, and just speaking in support of Councillor Lowe, obviously this is very important that we put this safety net, this system in place, because whilst we've maybe not seen the presentations that we maybe expected, we've maybe not seen some of the stuff around the winter fuel crisis that we expected, because we've had a reasonably mild winter, touch wood, it's finished now, and we're into the spring. We need to stand ready, Madam Mayor, because we know from some of the information that's come out of Citizens' Advice recently, if you read the papers, the additional number of people who are going to them for help and support, that will trickle down to people in real hardship. And therefore, we have to have a realistic safety net that these people can access around their council tax. Because what we don't want to do is push a difficult situation into a crisis. So I think it's the right thing to do. I welcome the policy put forward by Adrian and his team. And Madam Mayor, I'm more than happy to second the recommendations contained therein. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Bradley. Can I invite members to make any comments? You're very quiet tonight, guys. Right, we're now going to adopt the recommendations at the following paragraphs in the report. Council approves the revised council tax discretionary reductions policy, and in view of the economic climate and the likely increase in applications, the financial position in respect of discretionary reductions is going to be reviewed after 6 months. Can I have a show of hands for, please? Any against? Any abstention? Oh, right, we've noted that.
I think it was just hand up too long. It was for. It was a fault. This is last meeting.
All right. Okay, abstentions. Right. I confirm that's all been agreed. Thank you. Item 8. Questions asked under Council Procedure Rule 8, if any. A member may ask a question on any matter in relation to which the Council has powers or duties or which affects the borough, but must first give notice. The notice must be given to the Chief Executive and received by him or her not less than 3 clear days before the day of the meeting at which the question is to be asked. excluding the day of delivery and the day of the meeting. No questions have been received. So item 9, to consider the notice of motion, if any, given in accordance with Council's procedure, Rule 10. A motion can only be moved if notice of it has been given. The notice must be signed, must be at least one member of the public, it must be signed by at least one member of the council and must be received by the chief executive at least 5 clear days before the meeting at which it is proposed to move the motion, excluding the day of delivery and the day of the meeting. A notice of motion has been received. However, it was not within the notice period specified in the Constitution. I have therefore considered the matter and agreed that it can be considered as urgent under the next agenda item. So item 10, any urgent business previously agreed with the Mayor. The first item is item 1, the minutes of the 28th of February 2023, pages 3 to 16 on agenda supplement 1. I have agreed that the minutes of the last meeting of council held on the 28th of February 2023 be considered as an urgent item on the agenda. The agenda item has been omitted in error, and it is important, particularly as the municipal year is coming to an end, that the business to be considered at this meeting, I'm reading this wrong. The agenda item has been omitted in error, and it is important, particularly as the municipal year is coming to an end, that the business be considered at this meeting rather than delaying until the new municipal year. Hope that was clear for you. This item is for decision. Are there any issues to raise on the accuracy of the minutes? Okay, can I have a proposer from Councillor Bradley? Would you like to propose them?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am delighted to propose that the minutes of the 28th of February are taken as a true and correct record of that meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Wilson.
Seconded, Madam Mayor.
Okay, can I have a show of hands for, please? Any against? Any abstentions? Right, the minutes of the meeting are approved. The second item is the urgent notice of motion, King Charles III and his coronation, pages 3 on the agenda supplement 2. I have agreed that due to the exceptional circumstances of the forthcoming coronation of King Charles III, the following notice of motion be put to council for consideration by Councillor Alan Cullens. On the 6th of May, the people of Chorley will come together to celebrate the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla. The nation continues to celebrate our monarchy, which has given dedicated service to the people of Britain for generations, and this council recognises and therefore proposes the following. The resolution. This council resolves to write to their majesties, offering them our congratulations on their coronation and to give them our full support during their reign. Councillor Alan Cullens, please can you move this item?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and a special thank you to you for allowing this to go through. Apologies that it wasn't quite in time. There's something about elections got rather in the way of trying to get things going. And I think also one of the reasons you mentioned earlier about people being probably a little bit quiet tonight, it's noticeable the way that people have been walking. You can tell what walked into this chamber, what they've been doing. So I think there may be some fatigue. But I'm quite certain that, that this council should recognise that we are in a unique time and a unique situation. The last monarch's coronation was in 1953. Looking round, there's few in this room will remember it, and certainly none of you will have probably seen it on TV. I think we are in complete, rather sadly, we lost Majesty last year. We're in a scenario now where the people of Chorley are going to come together. The people of Chorley will recognise that a new monarch is about to be crowned. And I think that it's right and fitting that this council should recognise that and offer them our congratulations. That, and one of the things, could I just say, and I really wish good luck, not only to all those people standing for election, but to the elections team in what is going to be a real compact weekend in trying to get things through. But we have a fantastic opportunity. We have a fantastic opportunity to recognise the monarchy as it stands, and I'm more than happy to propose this motion, and hopefully which will gather the support of yourself and the rest of the council. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Invite Councillor Deborah Platt to second the motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for allowing this late item, and I'd have pleasure of seconding this item. Thanks.
Can I just say, it wasn't really a telling off when I mentioned the detail. I think it's just quite important to almost like to remind people about process. Can I invite members to make comments? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The notice came through a little late, as you say, so I've not really had a chance to discuss this fully with my group. As you say, we've had lots of other things going on, but I haven't had a groundswell of opposition to it. I think generally, certainly personally, I'm happy to support it, and I think generally the group is. If I can make, what's the phrase they often use, and ask Peter, friendly amendment on the prequel about the service to the people of Britain, I think I would have inserted in there, and the Commonwealth, because I think that needs to be recognised as well, Madam Mayor, and that was raised by members of the group. But the resolution, as it says, about writing to their majesties, I can see the Chorley letter on the mantelpiece in Buckingham Palace, next to Joe Biden, next to Emmanuel Macron, and then the one from myself or whoever it is, the chief executive who writes for us, Madam Mayor. But I'm sure they will treasure Chorley's best wishes for the rest of their days. So happy to support it, Madam Mayor, and thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Would anyone else wish to speak? Okay. Let's have a show of hands for 4. Any against, please? Any abstentions? Marvellous. I can confirm that has been agreed. There is no other urgent business, and the meeting is now closed. Thank you.